2, 1.
7 things you probably didn't know you need to know. I'm Jamie East, and this is the Smart 7.
Good morning, everyone. It's Thursday, the 4th of November, and it's roast dinner day. And a big happy birthday to Ralph Macchio, Kathy Griffin, P. Diddy, and Matthew McConaughey. There was a furious row in the Commons on Wednesday as Tory MP Owen Paterson managed to avoid suspension after a long-running investigation found he misused his position as an MP to benefit 2 companies he worked for. The chairman of the Standards Committee, Chris Bryant, was very clear about the consequences of a government-proposed amendment on standards, which he said amounted to MPs marking their own homework.
Nobody can be above the rules. It is the public who should judge this. And I fear they will find us all wanting if the amendment is carried today. I warn colleagues with all my heart, don't do something today that we will rue in the future.
His protests were to no avail as the Boris-backed amendment saw the former Tory Minister Paterson avoid the sanction as the government voted through the amendment. He denies the charges and wants the opportunity to clear his name.
The ayes to the right, 250. The noes to the left, 232. The ayes have it unlocked.
Labour's Emily Thornberry says it's just not acceptable behaviour from the government.
It is as corrupt goes. You know, if Donald Trump was able to blush, this would make Donald Trump blush. They think that rules do not apply to them. Rules apply to everyone.
The COP26 climate summit continues in Glasgow, although the world leader section is over for now and the real negotiations are underway. The focus on Wednesday was on the finance needed to drive climate change, with former Bank of England Governor Mark Carney announcing a watershed moment as $130 trillion of financing was unveiled. Chancellor Rishi Sunak laid out plans to transform the UK into the first ever net zero aligned financial centre.
This means we are going to move towards making it mandatory for firms to publish a clear, deliverable plan setting out how they will decarbonise and transition to net zero. 6 years ago, Paris set the ambition. Today in Glasgow, we're providing the investment we need to deliver that ambition.
Calculations suggest that if all the pledges so far were delivered, we could keep global warming to within the 1.5 degree target, and Boris was back in the Commons to update Parliament on his Glasgow away trip and to lay out the fact that COP26 is a crucial moment.
This is the moment when we must turn words into action. If we fail, then Paris will have failed, because we will have allowed our shared aim of 1.5 degrees to escape our grasp.
There were 41,299 new cases of COVID-19 yesterday and 217 additional deaths. Deputy Chief Medical Officer Professor Jonathan Van Tam appeared on BBC Breakfast to answer viewers' questions, and he warned that people really need to continue to take precautions as the UK's case numbers remain stubbornly high.
I think a whole range of behaviours, including the use of face coverings, but generally the caution that people take or don't take in terms of interacting with each other, that is going to be a big determinant in what happens between now and the kind of darkest months of the winter.
But what about Christmas? Christmas is going to be okay, right?
Christmas and indeed all of the kind of darker winter months are potentially going to be problematic.
Dating app Bumble has started a new campaign. It's not how to get you to swipe right or left, rather it's to make cyberflashing a crime. Cyberflashing is the sending of unwanted explicit images, and the new campaign hashtag Digital Flashing is Flashing is seeking to get it recognised as a criminal offence in England and Wales. The Law Commission has suggested the Sexual Offences Act could be amended to include it, and Professor Claire McGlynn, who has particular expertise in the legal regulation of pornography, says it needs to happen.
Girls and young women are having to put up with endless daily sexual harassment, including cyberflashing. I really welcome the Law Commission's report. It's a welcome first step, but I think we need to now go further. The cyberflashing law needs to focus on the core wrong, which is non-consent. That's the harm.
Still to come on the Smart 7, Dame Judi Dench has a new companion and the moon might be out to get you. Right after this. You're listening to the Smart 7. If you're enjoying it, you might also like the Smart 7 Ireland edition. Just search and follow us on your favourite podcast platform. Wednesday night saw Champions League action as Man City took on Bruges and Liverpool faced Atletico Madrid. Man City won 4-1 with a rush of second-half goals that leaves them top of their group and needing only one more point to qualify for the next round. Liverpool won 2-0, which sees them already qualified with a 100% record after 4 games. In advance of tonight's Europa Conference League game against Dutch side Vitesse, new Spurs manager Antonio Conte was introduced to fans and he's ready for the challenge.
I think that the fans deserve to have a team competitive with the will to fight. For me, the new challenge is Tottenham. I want that to become an important part of my career of manager. I think this is a great opportunity, an honor to accept to become the manager.
Dame Judi Dench may not strike you as someone who owns a parrot, but she does in fact own a parrot. She got it as a present last Christmas and she's called Sweetheart, but the language lessons aren't going too well.
I said to David, who brought her to me, does she speak? And he said, oh yes, she'll speak all right. And she goes, what are you doing? And she said, over. At about 11:30 in the morning, she says, bedtime. But I've tried, being very refined and hoping that she might do a bit of to be or not to be. I do repeat that a lot. Just goes, looks at me sideways. Bedtime.
The good people who write science fiction movies never really get a day off. They're always dreaming up new and exciting disasters for us. This time, they asked the question, what if the moon fell on top of the Earth? It's a new movie called, Moonfall, and it stars Halle Berry, Patrick Wilson and Donald Sutherland as astronauts who race to save the planet. It hit cinemas, the movie, not the moon, in 2022.
In breaking news, the governor has just ordered the mass evacuation of the entire West Coast.
Moving to higher ground is the only possible chance of surviving.
Stay awake, my brothers and sisters! Stay awake!
Are we dead? No, we are just inside the moon.
That might be the greatest sentence anyone's ever said.
This has been The Smart 7. Wherever you're listening, do us a favour and hit the follow button. We'll be back tomorrow at 7 a.m. Have a great day.
Written, produced and published by Daft Doris.